Hey, all, EC here, and there's been a lot of talk recently about Nintendo Switch 2 prices, and I know I've already made a whole video about the Nintendo Switch 2 prices, so I want to talk about something different in this video. I want to talk about Nintendo Switch Online, and why a price increase is probably on the cards for Nintendo, and why, as consumers, we're all going to be mad, and we're gonna hate it, and we're going to, obviously, go out of our pitchforks and knives and burn that Mario statue because it was his idea. So, essentially, guys, Switch Online has stayed at the same price since it launched, right? The original tier was like 20 USD, I believe, and that's basically what it stayed at. It's not gone up since. They have an expansion pack which has more content, obviously, for a little bit higher. I think it's $50 a year. Obviously, these are annual subscriptions, and it's $50 a year for the expansion pack, which obviously also gives you access to N64 games and, Mega Drive games, or Genesis games if you're American. Also Game Boy Advance games, whilst the lower tier Switch Online offers Game Boy games, NES games, SNES games, and obviously they both offer online play, and if you have Nintendo Music's included in both tiers, and obviously the DLCs for certain games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are also available on the expansion pack. Now, these prices have stayed the same since they were obviously unveiled, and they've not gone up. But I do feel that with the inclusion of GameCube games later this year, Nintendo will eventually raise the price. That is just a given, right? We've already seen Xbox and PlayStation raise prices for their subscription services and stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Nintendo do it. However, I don't think Nintendo will do it currently, largely because of, obviously, them not being in the best position currently. Gamers are, obviously, they're furious about the price rises for their games on the Switch 2. The Switch 2 itself, I've not seen many people get mad at the price, as they have the price of games like Mario Kart World. And I don't think Nintendo will really want to stomach another potential price increase right now, which could lead to more people, not getting a Nintendo, not subscribing to the plans that they're trying to offer. Now, people will argue that this subscription could be justified because obviously there's more content now, and there's more content on all these on these subscription services, and that is very true. There is more content now, but with the GameCube stuff, for example, you're adding free games to launch with, so I don't think that's going to be like a huge selling point because a lot of people aren't going to really be bothered by the GameCube app. If they don't have a Switch 2, they can't access it anyway. But I do feel like Nintendo will eventually raise the price for this. I also do hope that if they do, Nintendo will address, obviously, the fact that games can leave. Because, for example, I can't remember what the game was called, but it was like some football game soccer game if you're American, which left the Switch Online service. It was the first game to ever leave. It was a SNES game. Obviously, I'll be putting a graphic of it up, obviously, on screens if I remember what it's called. That was the first game to leave, and obviously that's set the stage for other games to leave the service as well. Obviously, hopefully Nintendo just doesn't really remove any first party games, because obviously anything developed by Nintendo themselves or published by Nintendo should be able to stay on the service, just because it was Nintendo. And I'm hoping that Nintendo will obviously address that, and they will also, if they raise the prices, it won't be like this year or next year, but they'll give it a little bit of time before they start jacking up prices, because it's going to take a toll on a lot of people, and people are obviously reeling from inflation. They're reeling from a cost of living crisis. They can't really, people don't really want to be paying more for less nowadays. We've got onto the trend. We've got onto the trend of these companies to charge us more for less, and obviously Nintendo needs to make sure the value is there before they try and raise the prices. And also they've got to try not to annoy their fans too much now, because the fans are already raking them over the coals, because obviously what they've been doing with obviously the prices of Switch 2 accessories, consoles and games, which a lot of people aren't happy with. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Do you think we will see a price increase for Switch Online and Switch Online expansion pack? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like, share. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Any help is greatly appreciated. I've been EC, and I'm signing out. Peace.